Good evening and welcome to the Selectmen's meeting for July 20th, 2020. We started at 6:30 with two non-publics, one for a hire at the police department and another one was another issue in town with personnel. At this point in time, I would like to have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Another thing I would like is that Eldon Towns, one of our longtime residents who also worked for the town, ran the buses in this town for years and had a construction company, passed away the other day, and would like to have a moment of silence and send out our condolences to his family. Thank you. Next item is department head committee items. Chief?
So do you want the 10 night first or?
Yeah, we'll deal with that first, seeing as we've got a complaint about it, and then we'll have Sergeant McGuire.
So there are actually multiple complaints about that
Well,
one, just to let you know.
I have better.
You just want my suggestion? So there was a zoning ordinance which we can enforce. That would be more codes. Most of the complaints have to deal with no notification. So my suggestion was, let's get a notification procedure, because that would be much easier to get than a ordinance enforcing noise, since that had already been voted down. Perhaps there's a permit that they could apply for and get, and we can post online saying there will be 10 a night in this area between the, in a 15-minute period, just to give people notice.
Well, we still have to pass an ordinance to do that.
Okay, I was just throwing something out there.
I know that, and it's an issue everywhere. It's not just us. I mean, and I don't understand, and I'm, being in that business, I don't understand why the feds haven't stepped in and done something about it. Because it's not an explosive till you mix it, but there are explosives out there that are the same way. They call binary. That they're not an explosive till you mix it. And once you mix it, that's it. And I don't understand why they don't do something, because they've already had cases where somebody's been hurt severely. People have been killed because doing foolish things with it. I think one of them did it on a lawnmower, and the blade came flying off of it and got somebody. It's like, it's a problem, and I wish there was something we could do, except that maybe under disorderly conduct, if you can prove the guy did it, it's doing it in such a way that it's causing an issue with everybody else.
So I talked to the gentleman that filled this out, and there was he alluded to in the comment, or the community alluded to, that you guys know who it is, but we're not doing
No, we know who it
anything.
is. We've talked to him before.
Okay.
Yeah. From what I understand, he's fairly reasonable. Like, he used to do 2-pound increments of 10 a night, and to lower the noise, he now does 1 pound. I've seen a posting before, I believe it was on We Are Aware, if I'm not mistaken, of him shooting one off with a rifle. That didn't seem, I can't get the full effect of it with the ground shaking and everything. I did talk to Lisa about the disorderly portion of it. The individuals who are complaining are going to need to do statements, and are going to have to be willing to come to court. That's the only way we would be able to enforce that through there, which we would start working on from this. But we're going to give him a heads up too, just to let you know, because literally he's had complaints to the east, to the west, and
Lives down that
to the
neck,
northwest.
He lives down that neck of the woods?
South. Yeah, he's right off of 114.
Yeah, okay. I know there was somebody up by the lake that did it
Yeah, now he's
years
got
ago, and I got blamed for that.
Yeah, he's got a little shooting range. You can see it on the map. He's got a little shooting range cut out for the trees. It's perfectly safe. It's just he's blowing loud stuff up, which is annoying everybody.
But as of right now, there's nothing illegal.
He's got a
No.
shooting range by
Yes.
his residence.
Well, he's got a path cut out in the trees.
And, okay.
Follows all the proper laws.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
I mean, it depends on what-
400, a little bit over 400 feet from the closest house. So,
Yeah, okay. So that's like
and that letter, he was over 1,400 feet from them. I measured it out before I came
Okay.
from the individual who's complaining about that.
So let me ask you this, so, I know you can't do anything about a zoning ordinance. A zoning ordinance has the,
Has to be done.
code enforcement does it here.
Mhm.
So if you know who he is there a letter that we could send him? Because I think
Under zoning.
truly, any use of land, it says right there, shall not be unreasonable, obnoxious, or excessively offensive to the extent that injures to the public health and safety or reasonable expectation of comfort, peace, and quiet.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I live in that same area. I mean, man, one night I jumped out of the chair and the dogs go crazy because they're here, it's so
I
sensitive.
mean, it is, and plus it's.
And I do know,
above
I
ground.
saw there was Facebook posts about everybody at 7 o'clock on Father's Day. I get it. But if there was some sort of indication or notice when it could happen, I think that may help.
I agree with that.
I totally, and I'm not opposed to it now and then. It's his own private thing or her.
But I also understand the other part too, which was a valid point, which is a big issue now, was the PTSD issue with veterans
Well,
coming
he's a
back,
veteran,
you know.
yeah.
And I mean, the thing, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
that it's setting it's causing a lot of
Yeah.
issues for people, and I think,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
you
a
said, and
heads up,
animals
a
are the
heads
other
up
part.
to this person may also just, even if he's willing to just notify you, if we could put something out of, they could leave home if they wanted to.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? If he was gonna shoot from 2 to 4 or whatever, they could leave home. It just, the indication is it's the all of a sudden that literally scare the you-know-what out of you.
So he's
Yep.
shooting at something that's
It's a
exploding?
target.
It's a container, and they mix. There's two chemicals that they mix in. One of them is aluminum. It's pulverized aluminum powder, and what it does is it enhances it. The minute you hit it with a high impact,
Yeah, it just.
it detonates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and it's an above ground explosion. I mean, somebody said, "Oh, it could ruin the well," because it's not in the ground. But it's enough that it does. It's
I don't want to live next door to him.
no, but I mean,
You don't even have to live
it
next door.
makes a lot of noise. I mean, it definitely gets your attention.
Yeah, no, I mean, if he sounds reasonable, I don't know who he is or whatever, but if you wanna give him a heads up, even,
can definitely do
like I
that.
said, I'm not trying to
I
take
mean,
anybody's
if anything
right
else,
away,
have Kelly
but-
send them a letter as a code. for
Well,
code
also that, just a
Zoning.
heads up about the zoning, cause it is about the enjoyment of your property, and
Yep.
it is, shooting is part of the land use, cause that's what he's using his land for. But it just a reminder can go to that way too, so that we've covered both bases, but,
I don't think it's right for us to ask him to notify everybody or notify any of us or anything. He has the legal right to do it. Right now, tannerite is still a
Legal. Yeah, I don't understand it, but it
target
is.
enhancer, or whatever the hell you want to
Yep.
call it. We don't have that, I don't think we have that right. If we brought it before the voters, maybe, but even then, I still wouldn't feel comfortable with it. I get the concerns, because it happens on north end of town too, and it scares the
Yeah.
crap out of my dogs too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But if these people bought their land for a particular reason, and this is their enjoyment. So they-
Yeah, I mean, I think if it gets to the point where it gets unreasonable, then it's like disorderly, and it's
I think it would revert back to the
either that or either that, the
Ordinance.
people who were there, like the chief said, would have to sign the
A statement.
statements and complaints that this is
Yeah.
being disorderly, depending, and it all depends on the hour of the day,
yeah.
and, so forth and so on, so.
And he was part of the group that notified everybody on Father's Day, so I think he'd still provide notice if we asked him
Yeah,
to. Just neighborly, being good neighbor. Even though he's not required to.
There are gonna be some people who are just never gonna be happy, but I also get the tannerite part of it too. Honestly, if I had the land, I'd do it probably too. I mean, I'd do 5 pounds or whatever this gentleman is setting off.
He's doing a pound from what I understand.
oh, yeah,
But I
5
mean,
pounds
I've
is,
seen videos
Your
of
house
people
would be
put 20
gone.
and it
know
takes down a
somebody-
barn, so.
yeah,
Software that's done
yeah.
for sale.
Somebody did it right up on East Shore Drive a couple years ago. She
All right,
said
I mean,
that
I
the
think-
house was coming down.
That's all you can do.
Yep, that's all you can do. I mean, we're pretty much,
It's a neighborly thing as far as I'm
I
concerned.
mean, if they want, the only other thing is to sign a petition, they can be the petition signers to bring it forth to the,
To the warrant,
For a warrant article,
warrant
then-
article for
Well,
what, the
they've
noise
already
ordinance?
started.
under a noise ordinance, yeah, or
They already started.
they've already started, they've got some names.
But what do they actually,
What do they
To
request?
have us,
Petition to town selectmen,
using
petition,
tannerite. Did you get the email
to
on that?
their actions looking for a town ordinance preventing the use of tannerite near residential dwellings.
Yeah.
I just remember what the actual
within
petition
3 miles.
subject was.
Yeah.
So basically, it bans it from the whole town of Hoya.
Yeah, there's no place in this town you can be 3 miles
Yeah,
from the nearest structure.
impossible.
Well, the 3 miles is on the cover letter, it's not on the petition.
Well, yeah.
Right. I just wanted the verbiage on the
But,
petition.
yeah, but the verb, well, that's what they wrote, so I
That's
mean,
just a
that's
start.
just a start.
Yeah.
So who knows?
The only thing I would think we'd be able to recommend is if they're serious about wanting a noise ordinance, sign a petition, we can put it on for the warrant
Yeah,
article for this year.
that's it.
But we tried this. We had a ordinance on
Committee.
a few years back because of the
We had a public
motorcycles.
hearing and it
On
was,
that committee.
Well, I mean, we had that in the shooting, but I mean, the thing was is that, and not to get into all the particulars of it, but a lot of that went the, you know, the way, side of the road, because it seemed like nobody followed up on some of it, and we asked for the statistics, and the statistics were convoluted. We didn't get an accurate, I don't think, an accurate accounting of it, so. Because they said cards that sent out and asked where the cards. Well, I don't know. You know, nobody could find the cards.
I think it was done at voting
We
too.
did
Yeah,
it
it
at
was
the-
done,
we
at-
did it
and they
at
did it at the polls, but I mean, they
And
also
the
sent them
cards
out.
were in the possession of, I believe, Miss Davis, last I knew.
And then nobody ever came forth with them, so.
Having actually seen them, the
Oh, I
numbers-
saw 'em.
The numbers that were given to the Board of Selectmen were accurate, based off of the results that I remember counting.
but the actual petition that they signed is for the banning of tannery.
Yeah,
Right.
that was,
Not a noise
Which
ordinance.
is a whole different
Yep.
Yeah.
petition.
Right, it's a whole different petition what they signed, so.
yep, that's it, so. Yeah, that's about all we can do with that, so. It sounds like you've got it somewhat under control.
Somewhat.
The only other thing I said is, you know, for the zoning part of it, you know, talk to Kelly. You know, they could send a letter to,
We can't control neighbors being good neighbors.
no, but if they're violating the zoning ordinance, that's what,
Yeah, that's.
comes out of that office, it's not us.
And
It's not at this venue.
while the chief is here, before he turns it over to Let Austin, you had asked me about a donation of $25 gift cards.
Yes.
So the chief,
100.
right, $25.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I see what you did there.
So what he typically it's an anonymous donation.
Yes.
But I'll go ahead.
We received an anonymous donation. There are 20 $5 gift cards from Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't know if there was an approval process to that, just for tracking purposes. What we use that for is juvenile diversion. We obviously wouldn't use it for ourselves. Gifts when we set up some type of, when we do have a community event at some point going forward once COVID's over. Gifts for kids or what have you. I've got a couple ideas how we'd use them. I was just wondering if there was an acceptance
So
process. to
typically,
notify the board.
if it's less than $5,000, you can accept it at any of your meetings.
Yep.
So all you have to do is make a motion to accept the gift cards and let the chief use them for future events to interact with the youth.
So
Is there a
moved.
dollar minimum that has to be brought?
5,000,
No, dollar minimum to be brought to the select?
anything's
Yeah.
supposed to.
Anything.
Anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moved.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. And at this point, I'd like
I like what you
to
worded
turn it over to Sergeant McGuire to talk about the
Now I gotta
radios.
revisit it.
Have to get on YouTube.
Don't say they suck, be more verbose.
Now, this is gonna be the Reader's Digest version, right? Okay.
So,
He's too young to know what Reader's Digest is.
Thumbnails, Cliff Notes,
okay.
Cliff Notes.
I come before you guys this evening to kind of follow up with my, I guess our discussion I presented to you guys on March 16th of this year in regards to the town's emergency services radio communication system and infrastructure. We provided you with a list of locations, and it was determined that we had not provided that to the vendor. Back in April, we started forwarding the logs in every issue to the vendor. At the beginning of June, our vendor completed what they called a much-needed maintenance overhaul, and during that time, they removed the majority of the system for maintenance, and the town's emergency services radio communication system and infrastructure struggled for approximately a week. Over the past month, Sergeant Frisbee and I have contacted the town's vendor due to multiple concerns in reference to the town's emergency services radio communication system and infrastructure. We have provided information when the vendor requests it, and with the maintenance overhaul, both of us still feel that the system hasn't changed, and in fact, it's getting worse day by day. Sergeant Frisbee recently informed me he had contact with the vendor when on patrol. He said that he expressed our concerns to the vendor representative that was on site. The representative noted that our system needs to be replaced and alluded to the fact that it would be expensive. This has been known facts to us since 2015 when Two-Way Communications completed their radio system overview. I did some research and located that in 2018 Milford completed a substantial analysis and feasibility study in regards to their public safety telecommunications system, and I would recommend that we contact a vendor and do a similar study. They then followed an RFP process and put that out and let different vendors bid on the system and recommendations. After speaking with Goffstown Dispatch this past week, they noted that they plan to do a study, and I think that we should really be working with them. They're our dispatch center. I don't see us going anywhere in the near future. I think that we should probably reach out to them a little bit further and hopefully get involved with their study, because it could help us. Milford's study, they did a Milford only, and then they did a regional because they also dispatch for the region down there. I also recommend that we revisit our contract with our current vendor to ensure that they're meeting the needs of the town. After them admitting that they know that the system needs to be completely replaced, it's a little concerning that, I don't know if they've brought that to your attention, but I hope that me bringing it tonight is kind of a eye-opener. I said before, and I'll say it again, the inability to effectively communicate using our communications infrastructure puts town employees, town residents, and surrounding mutual aid partners in immediate danger. The inability to effectively communicate with our current infrastructure is an issue we attempt to work on a daily basis. I request that this board to immediately work with our dispatch center and surrounding mutual aid partners to find a resolution to our lifeline, our emergency services communication infrastructure. Thank you.
Do we know what the cost of this, of our portion of what the study would be?
I don't, because it sounds like they're in their infancy stages of kind of deciding if they want to do a study based on my brief discussion in passing with.
Just so you're aware, we have had conversation with Goffstown on about this study, and
Okay.
there's been conversation with them.
Okay.
We're not sitting on our laurels. I mean, we've had the state come out, and we've
Yep.
been in
He was
discussion
part
with the
of it.
chief, you know, so I mean,
Chris was
that's,
part
we
of
haven't let it sit. I mean, the thing I will say is that some of this should have been brought forth before deliberative session. Someone should have come forward and got up, and that's probably partially our fault too, for not having either you or somebody else from over at the emergency services come forth and bring that to the town. But that's something that, you know, again, we don't have, you know, this is gonna cost buku dollars, and it's not gonna be done overnight, unfortunately. I wish we could, you know, wave the magic wand and have it repaired, but no, it is in need of it. But we're not sitting back, and, you know, we appreciate the fact you brought that in the last time, and like I said, the vendor didn't know, so they can't fix it if they don't know it's broke, so they do now, and now they're saying, which is the first I've heard that they've actually come forth and said,
Well, you know, yeah.
the whole thing needs to be replaced. You know, I mean, it seems like we get different stories from them at times, so.
I mean, I've been saying even before Sergeant McGuire brought forward that the radios are terrible.
Right, and you have.
And I've been saying it for years, and but again, it sounded. I mean, we, you know, and this board even had the vendor standing at that podium before, talking about our systems, and at that point in time, it seemed like the vendor was blindsided because they had no idea that we had problems, and the information was not being relayed to them. I feel that was, after your first presentation, was still an issue with them not getting it, and now that has been cleared up because obviously now we know that they were not getting it.
Right.
As both departments know that they were not getting the information relayed to
I
them.
can tell you, we probably send out emails weekly, if not every other week,
Now.
at this point.
To
At this
them.
point, right,
To
correct,
them.
yes.
To them, yes.
Yes, so that whole has shifted, which is good.
Mhm.
Us communicating with that vendor. And I've said for years, I think that the system needs to be revamped, and I guess I'll put one back on you. Is there any way that you could get a contact in Milford to find out what that study cost?
I can,
The neighboring towns, because obviously Goffstown would kind of be the hub, I would call
Yeah.
it, for like
it would be
Mac
like the
Ba-
regional eyes.
Right, Mac Base would have been the hub down there, and then all the remote towns find out what the remote towns were, you know, just to get into that study, and like I said, we can move forward.
I think it said it in the, because they hired a company to do, I think it said the portions, but I can double check. The study is
Yeah.
online, but I can reach out to those
Because they
surrounding
have-
agencies.
Yeah,
They have Wilton, Brookline,
exactly, and
I think
that's
it
what
was
I'm
Mount
saying. is-
Vernon, Wilton.
Mount Vernon,
was one of them.
yeah.
Right, and I think that they have a few more
Temple.
than 100 has, as far as
Oh, yeah.
neighboring towns that they supply. But it'll give us a number to look forward to.
Yeah.
I don't think, you know, we could put $1 million on the warrant, and that may only cover half of it. We don't know. And again, to have a vendor similar to what Milford did come in and actually put a real live proposal up of saying this is what you need to cover your town. That's what I would like to see right out of the gate. I would love to see that, and then we could you know, march that down the road and say this is what we need. This is what we need.
And I plan to be in contact with the lieutenant over in Goffstown that I was
Yep.
speaking with, maybe be more included on their radio discussions.
Okay.
And maybe we can get some answers from them too, what they plan to do, because they were still kind of going back
Tossing
and
around
forth.
type thing, yeah.
And I know that, you know, you said, since I sat on this board and before, it seems like every time we do something, we're getting it Band-Aided. Before,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, all the remote sites
Yeah.
went to solar, that didn't work. Now they
Yeah.
get hard, and they still don't work any better. You know, it's like, we keep throwing good money after bad, it seems like, instead of just
Absolutely.
fixing the individual
Are
problem.
we the only town having a problem with our radio?
No. I can, just
No.
listening to our neighboring towns that are also in Goffstown, I think theirs is more based on, you know, what we have, hills, valleys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of New Hampshire, we have hills, valleys everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
So it's,
but-
you're not gonna, unless you, like I said, unless you go back to 20 years when they were dispatched out of, you know, county, and they talked off the repeater, which hit just about everything that you wanted to hit.
Yeah.
You don't have that in, so.
But the flip side of that is you have other regional centers, Merrimack County Sheriffs, that
Yep.
even though they're digital, they have awesome coverage. You have,
Well, they talk
you have
off the-
Capital Area Fire.
They
who
talk
have
off the top of
awesome
Mount,
coverage.
they talk off of Mount Kearsarge, and, you know, they're so
Yeah,
high in the air that you're not gonna miss them, so.
Yeah.
You know, plus there are other remote
So
sites.
I don't, to me, it's not a technology issue, it's a location issue.
And.
How many times have
good
we
after
had
bad.
R&R out since we've sent them the list in April?
He doesn't tell me when he's coming out. In the few email communications I've had with him, he came back, let's see, at least 3 times that I'm aware of, maybe 4.
What
'cause
have they done?
that I know that they took down some of the system
Mm-hmm.
and then put up temporary items in that place while they did their maintenance overhaul.
Would you be able to get us some kind of accounting of what they've actually done?
Yeah,
They
I
charge,
Since April
they
16th.
should be charged, if they charge, do we get an invoice on any of this that they do?
It's
That's under the
part of the service
contract. They
contract.
just
Yeah.
don't tell us that they've done this type of service.
I'm sure he's been
I'm sure they
he'll
document
communicate with me pretty
Yeah.
pretty often, so
I'd
I
like
can
to
just
know
ask
what they've
him.
done in the past, well, since April, since
Yeah.
we've brought this to their attention. What have they done to try to fix it so far?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I don't think Highway has as many problems because most of their stuff is done by truck, so they have a higher power radio than the portable that Sergeant McGuire has right now.
How's
And-
fire been?
Well,
Should we ask
I
fire?
mean, just based on me
Um,
scanning them, it's hit or it's
yeah,
depends
it's,
on what
it's
they're
still hit or
using.
miss. I wouldn't say ours improved as much more than police has, if at all. I know that fire has moved to a different type of sign-on system
Yep.
with I Am Responding. It's an app-based program that dispatch has access to as well. That's why if anybody in Scannerland, that's why you notice a lot reduced radio traffic, is because that app is being used. So again, that alleviates some of the confusion from dispatch. It eliminates some of the confusion on our end with static. But again, even when the members are on scene and trying to communicate, it's not, I wouldn't say it's improved much.
I can speak from just listening and on scan one day, there was a critical incident in town where they were trying to ask for something up at the truck, and the people down a pretty steep hill trying to assist with the patient
Yep.
were they said it was multiple times that they were asking for a piece of equipment. So I mean, that's to me that says something. If they're person that needs the equipment, who knows how fast they need to be down there, but when they're saying, "What are you saying?" over and over again, that's
Well,
to
the
me
reason I ask this is
problematic.
because right now PD is the loudest and most vocal about it, and I completely understand why.
don't know about
We're
that.
not hearing much from the
Probably
fire
last
side,
night's
that's the only
meeting.
reason I'm asking, so.
So, yeah, I don't, again, I don't wanna drop this again, if we can get a number on that study of what it's, and even, I don't wanna say even if we have to stand alone and do it, but at least get a number that represents what we need to do to get you know, real life, this is, you need X, Y, Z to make your radio system better.
We're gonna need new sites, we're gonna need more.
We can't bulldoze any mountains or fill in any valleys, but
We need a solid plan.
Oh, we can.
plan.
Yeah, well, we can technology. Or either that, you
Plan right
can,
in there.
you know, or either do we have to raise the towers, do we have, you know,
Simulcast, more towers,
Move the towers.
yeah, move towers.
raise them higher, so, yeah, I mean, like you said, you talk about other areas,
yeah.
like Capital Area, you talk about Merrimack County, State Police is off, that's on top of Mount Kearsarge, 180-foot tower, and it's on top of that mountain, so, I mean,
Coverage is phenomenal.
you can, if the guy's got a bed spring down the other end of,
Maybe we
At the state
piggyback
line,
off
you can
somebody
hit it.
else's tower up on one of the mountains then.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an option, instead of trying to have it all in town, maybe we piggyback off Kearsarge and on Canoonik and the Wolf Hill over in Deering.
Put one up on Cranny Hill or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, and I think
And that's
that-
where the study would definitely come into play. To
Yeah.
address
Right,
all that.
exactly, and probably you have to include that with the study to say, hey, if you think that we need to put one up on Wolf Hill or Cranny Hill or Kearsarge or something, then let us know
I'll
that.
piggyback at the top of Mount Onkanoonik, there's enough radios up there now, another one wouldn't make much difference, but, I mean, yeah, the thing is that,
But we really can't move forward without
yeah,
a
you
plan,
can't,
No, I agree.
and a financial plan at that.
so,
But and just
It'd be awesome if we could have something before the voters this year.
yeah.
yeah, for that study, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the other towns, you look at Milford, you look at Bow, they dispatch for numerous towns, you look at Hooksett does.
Bo
Bo's
doesn't
done.
anymore.
Bo doesn't dispatch anymore.
They don't dispatch for anybody, okay,
No,
they
they're at
stop.
Merrimack County now.
You get, go to Hooksett, Hooksett dispatches for, a couple different towns.
Okay.
They think they do Pembroke and Allenstown.
No, that's MCSO.
Is it now? Okay, they used to dispatch for them, but I mean, these are towns that,
Yeah, but it still rolls back to the reliability of whatever's in that town.
Whatever's
as
in
far
that
as,
town,
you
yeah.
know, you could,
And
you got a dispatch.
geographically, it's flatter over in Hooksett, so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
remember,
I mean, you could have
you get over to
dispatch-
Pembroke, it doesn't,
True, up in the range roads.
yeah.
You have dispatch center in Berlin. It doesn't matter who that is.
Do you, did you read off something? Because sometimes I don't know how clear it's gonna be. Do you mind
I
leaving a
can
copy?
send
for
you a
them?
copy. I made some
Yeah,
notes on the back.
that's
of it.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could do that. It's just easier when Karen does the minutes that, I don't know how much she'll get through your, you know what I mean, and we
Yeah.
try, but, thank you.
No problem. Thank you for taking the time tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Austin.
So
Good
before
job.
you leave, we have one more thing.
Well, I have one more thing.
All right.
Oh.
Then we have two more
Speed
things.
trailer? Everybody seen the speed trailer on 114?
No?
No.
What?
Yeah, he was even catching me at 2:00 in the morning going to a call.
Yeah,
Which
well,
way-
we've
which
been
end of the-
testing.
which-
We've been just testing it out.
Which
seeing
end
how
of
long- 'cause it's
114?
right in front of the station. It's just right
Oh,
in front
no,
of
I
the station.
didn't go that way, I go south.
Calibration looks good on it. That's not going to cost us anything. We've got the stickers ordered, and we have door locks ordered, so it should be deployable here as soon as we get them. We're getting a mount on 6 so we can tow it, and I looked at comparable prices just because the cheapest used speed trailer I saw was $1,800, and we get ours for $400. Brand new, they're over $8,000.
What do we have into the speed trailer so far?
$425, some paint. That's it. We have to order one sign unless we just don't deploy it to whatever we're missing. I think we're missing a 50-mile-an-hour sign, if I'm not mistaken, but just one of them. But they're about $60 or $70.
Where are you gonna put this thing?
Everywhere.
Wherever the speeding complaints are.
Thank you.
It'll be rotated right where the speeding
And then
complaints
they'll
are.
start using it as,
And sometimes we'll
That
sit
dragon
right
over
behind the
there.
trailer, sometimes we won't.
Does
Because,
it take
sometimes
pictures?
people like to, no. Well, it's not enforceable. It's just a notice.
Just check.
But we might sit
They
behind
see
it
a
because,
number plate.
It
being,
ain't big enough to hide your car.
No, like, you know, a little bit behind, so people who
Block
see
the
how
bushes.
fast they can go,
It's not a billboard.
we'll catch them right behind it.
So, before you take off, the parking ticket that I asked you,
Oh.
there was a parking ticket,
Yep.
that we went back and forth on. I shared it all with you guys.
Yeah.
I asked you to look at the body worn cam because she said that, you know, Lisa had asked her, I'm sorry, Officer Perslow had told her that she could fight it and she'd win, and so that came out differently. So
Yeah.
the last correspondence I had with the parking ticket, she asked me if I would present it. She feels that she's no way blocking the gate. So then I sent you guys an email on Tuesday, July 14th. She's looking to fight it, which I shared what the chief said about the body worn camera. There's a difference of a story. She's asking for the board to drop it. The issue I had when I spoke with her first, it was issued on June 18th. The parking ticket, it says right in the middle, you have 14 days. If the fine's not paid within 14 days, an additional penalty of $25 will be added to the fine. First time we ever heard from her was July 6th, well beyond 14 days.
Right.
So, and here we are now, another week, and
Middle of July.
so what, I guess I'm just asking you, so I'd like to talk, either resolve it, or however you want to resolve it. But, as I said to you, keep in mind, if you forgive one, you just spent $900 that we're gonna be putting signs out for.
My opinion on that is that it was issued by the officer. It's not our job to overrule them and take the tickets back. That's up to either the chief and the police officer, or that has the remedy of it, and you go to court.
So
That's-
what
we shouldn't
happens
be-
now?
We shouldn't be overstepping.
If
She
she
don't have
hasn't
to pay
paid
her, I
it.
believe her, she gets her license suspended.
Yeah, license
But
be
how
suspended,
do
she can be
you-
brought to
how do
court
you
for.
go from there? Like, if we tell her that, I'm sorry, we're not waiving it,
Yeah.
then what happens? Do you take it from there? I'm just trying to figure out, because the ticket does say that they could pay it with us at this
It's the town,
address.
yeah.
But if they don't pay it, who goes from there? I'm just trying to, in my
Have to
mind.
look into that.
The police
But
department does. They file a complaint for failing to pay the ticket.
Okay.
You end up in court.
Yeah.
You go to Goffstown
Roster.
District Court, and if they don't pay it, they get their license and registration suspended. You know, that's a possibility.
Okay, so I guess I'm asking the board, she's asked me to run it by you.
I mean, my opinion is that, no, they issued it in good faith, they did it legally, and if there's an issue.
And she came up and talked to the officer that same day, a couple hours later, and the officer's like, if you want to appeal it, the number's right on there.
There it is, and I mean, she's
She
claiming one
just-
thing, the body
Officer had read
camera,
The parking ticket if she didn't feel that it was.
the body camera says something
Well,
else.
I think, the body camera, Chris reviewed the body worn camera.
Parking.
And it
It's
said
on
she
the-
informed the complainant that she was observed the vehicle was parked blocking the entryway/gate to the park. She informed her she could appeal, and there was information on ticket how to initiate the process. At no time did she say she should fight it. So that was a conversation that we had back and forth. I'm fine, I just
I
want to
leave
be
it,
done.
I leave it with the police department, so that's,
They could have court.
we shouldn't be overstepping any of that.
Okay, that's all I had, I won't keep you for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you agree to let the PD handle it?
Handle it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, that's,
Thanks, sir.
yep,
All right, so now you have minutes and
We agree or
manifest.
not,
yep,
police matter.
that's, yeah. Don't
You
get-
wrote the ticket, you didn't think it was what needed to be written.
Yep, or if there's an issue, then the chief reviews it, and if it should be taken back, then I'll let them take it back. Yeah, no, it's not our job. So, okay, we get minutes.
You gonna do the 29th
Thanks.
first?
Yep. Okay, July 29th.
Now, did you send out 7-6?
Yep, yeah.
7-6.
Yeah, I sent them all, I got them.
You got them? I
I think Karen sent them, but I didn't make copies for everybody.
don't have that.
Okay, anything on page one?
I can't.
See anything?
Can't seem to find them.
Huh?
I can't find them, either of them.
29th was done a while ago.
Yeah.
We had that, you handed it out 2 weeks ago.
I gave it to
You
everybody
got a
on the
hard copy
6th.
2 weeks ago.
It's on the website.
Anything
I
on,
know.
anything on page 2?
I didn't see anything.
Page 3, let's see. Anything on page 3? I didn't see
No, I
anything.
didn't see anything.
Page 4. Oh, page 5.
Yep,
Okay. Which one?
right in the middle. I put a vice in front of me.
Oh, yeah. No vice in front of.
Nope, no vice in front of me
Didn't
there.
wanna- No vice for,
Down farther, there's vice again.
yeah,
3 or 4
I'm
sentences.
supposed to have one in front of me.
yeah, he's,
There isn't one of.
there wasn't one.
There
He's
isn't.
missing vice, and
Missing one.
halfway down it says,
Yeah.
Chairman.
Yeah.
both,
Sorry.
yeah, the one above it says vice, but the one, the paragraph below it says doesn't, so, okay. So, there we go. Page 6. Jesus. Okay, nothing on page 6. Page 7.
Middle paragraph.
Which one?
Middle paragraph.
Yeah.
Under it starts with park chairman.
Mm-hmm.
That's the paragraph.
Yep.
Halfway through it, towards the left, Sergeant Frisbee. Officer.
I'm sure
also-
it's-
Oh, it says
Yeah.
Officer Frisbee about,
Yeah.
yeah, it says something about statements and Officer Frisbee had
Yeah,
explained, yeah.
couple of different places it
Couple
says.
places,
it
Officer
says
Frisbee.
officer.
And there's
Yeah.
one in
Yeah.
parentheses says Officer,
Yeah.
Officer Frisbee.
Yeah, change it to proper rank.
Okay.
Sergeant Frisbee.
Yeah, I think it was officer, but that is his rank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, nothing else on 7? Page 8. Page 9. Page 10.
Move to approve as amended.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, the next one's the 6th.
I don't have that, so.
Not everybody's got them?
If she sent it out, I didn't
Yeah, I
see
got
it.
them.
I'll have to look, because sometimes when somebody sends it out and they haven't done it regularly, it goes in my junk folder.
Have you signed up for the online thing, for the town
The
site?
e-subscribe works
E-subscribe?
easy.
It works really easy.
Yep.
You get them all, yeah.
You go to the town,
Town website.
excuse me.
Okay.
If you go to the town website, and then right on there it says e-subscribe, and you click on that, and
And
you
you-
can subscribe to everything you
Yeah,
do.
there's a whole list.
There's a whole list, you can
Yeah.
click on
What you
to it.
want, and then the minute
Fireworks, the
she puts it up
trustees.
on the website, you get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every board and
Yeah.
commission and committee that you can
Yeah,
think
that
of.
you'll ever want to know about, and then
Yeah.
some.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay, July 6th,
That's where I get mine from, and it's always right there.
Yep. page 1.
They're short. 3-page.
Page 2. Page 3.
Move to approve is written.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
Oh, you weren't here.
Knew that was coming.
Okay.
I didn't have it, so I'll abstain. I didn't see it.
Okay. The manifest. Yep.
Big too.
Yeah, I see that. Jeez. This is to order the treasurer to sign the payroll and accounts payable checks dated July 23rd, 2020, as included in the following manifest. Payroll manifest, $59,989.73. That's the weekly payroll. Supplemental payroll manifest of $1,499.75. That's the Parks payroll checks dated 7/9 of 20. Accounts payable manifest for $445,385.97. The Ware School District payable manifest for $400,000. And the John Stark Regional payable manifest for $1 million. For a total of $1,906,870. Yeah, $1,906,875.45. The following manifests were previously ordered to sign at the July 6, 2020 Board of Selectmen meeting. Payroll manifest was $69,295.93. That was for weekly payroll checks dated 7/16 of 2020. An accounts payable manifest of $37,700.09. Checks dated 7/16 of 2020. Do I have a second?
Second?
Discussion?
Go ahead.
Payables manifest July 16th for R&R for $6,369. What exactly is that for?
For R&R?
Yes.
That's the
Is
radio.
that part of a contracted, or was that for services rendered?
Was there anything attached to the invoice?
I didn't see anything.
No, that's probably for the contract.
Was
I
it
believe.
only 1 week?
Yes, 7/16, towards the back of the.
I believe that's for the contract.
I believe that's for the contract.
I think it is contracted.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no invoice that's part of that.
R&D.
Payable.
R&R. 2394.
Oh, you might have lined up the one below it.
6369 is what I had.
Is there someone in,
Unless I wrote down the wrong.
is there someone for 6369?
Oh, that was 2394.
2394.
Then I must have written down the wrong line. Okay, never mind.
Okay.
And that was for check date 7/16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was there a 2369 in that checks?
Yes.
Three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did see it, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was for the maintenance, I believe. More tracks. Deliberator, I've gone a little too far.
I think it was before power plant.
What's that?
I think it was before the Nortrax one.
On our communications, maintenance contract, highway, police, fire departments. 425 for police, 1325 for fire, 372 for highway. Quarterly billing, 2123.
Okay. I was looking
Uh,
for
The total that you see is 6369.
yeah, that's what I was questioning.
Right.
That's for the.
That's the quarterly payment, though, I believe. No, you're right. That would have been the quarterly payment.
Okay.
3,900 of that came from fire, but it looks like it's probably 2 quarters worth.
Okay, so
Correct.
Right.
Maintenance contract for the 3. And the PD fire contribution is 2,300.
I am abstaining from this vote in its entirety only because there's a payment in the 7/6 payment to my company. But I would agree with the 7/6 payment that he was.
Okay. So there is, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And one abstention? Okay. Administrators report.
I just want to, so next week, just, I know it's gonna be, supposed to be your off week, because you're back in on the 3rd as well.
Yep.
Basically, you're looking at 4 public hearings, just to let you know, if you haven't seen them all.
Yep.
The excitement.
Yeah, so you're gonna increase non-resident parking fees from 20 to 40, and increasing the non-resident boat fees from 45 to 50, and reducing the speed limit on Rockland Road 35 to 30, that's your first one. The second one is a public hearing to hear comment and testament on building permit ordinance in regard to the permit fee schedule to define and distinguish the cost difference of the finished gross area versus unfinished. That was talked about at the planning board, so if you're curious as to what type of conversation, I just would urge you to go to YouTube for the last week's planning board, just so you can be
You
prepared.
can actually look at a couple of past planning boards, because
Yeah,
it's been
you
a
can-
constant
it was
discussion.
Is there any
discussed.
documentation for us to review? on
It's
this?
an increase in a fee for what?
The finished area versus unfinished
What
area, and I
about-
think we need to discuss it at the meeting,
Yeah,
so.
or there was a
So-
conflict,
Is there any
so.
documentation to review? that
I
was
can
prior?
send you what was sent to me,
Yeah.
sure.
Thank you.
And then the third one is gonna be putting up the no parking signs on Reservoir Drive.
Why was it never discussed that we needed a public hearing for this prior to ordering the signs?
I think the chief alluded to it, he's alluded to that a couple of times to me.
Yes and no, but,
That once they got here, we need to have a public hearing.
Okay.
you know, some of it.
Just because you
I-
have to enforce it, and you can't
Yeah.
just blindside people by.
Well, I mean, some of
putting it
those signs have already been out there, so there must have been a meeting at some point to
on
have
there.
a
The
public
first
hearing.
time, but now we're gonna add.
But you're gonna
25
add
more
some,
signs.
so I mean. if
We're
you replace-
increasing where we were gonna go. But I also think at the same time, I think there needs to be, I know, the highway department would like some definitive as to from where to where, how far apart,
Well-
and then they could go put them out.
They have the manual, and Benji should have the manual, and it tells you how far you're supposed to place them under the uniform traffic control.
All right, so I just
Plans.
ask them to look it up?
Yeah, if not, I can get a copy of it. I've got
I wish I
I've got a
known that
copy
before I
of
would've-
it.
Before I would have made the motion to order them prior to this, because
Well, I think there was discussion back and forth, and now there's been a couple of parking tickets issued, so I think, and to do it and do it right, I think we should have the public
I
hearing.
agree that, I mean, if.
I think-
Because I think we're gonna, I'm
I-
thinking we're extending the area
Some of
now
it, I mean,
from
some of
where
it was
is.
replacement of the ones that are there, so that's not, which is just normal highway maintenance, you know, you put the replace the signs, but now they're,
And then we will still need to have the discussion as to where the funding's coming out of for these signs.
I think you already paid the bill.
He already paid it.
already paid the
Came
bill.
out
Out of what line is it gonna be coming out
I
of?
can find out which one we did.
yeah.
Yes, please. 'Cause there was discussion on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then what about the 5-mile-an-hour decrease on,
That's on,
is that on?
Rockland Road,
yeah, that was the second.
that's another.
So your
that's the
first
other.
one's gonna be your park fees, the second
Yep.
one's gonna be the speed limit, third one's gonna be your building permit ordinance, and your fourth one's gonna be your parking signs. But literally, that's basically all you have next week. I know it's gonna take you for a while, but that's all that you're gonna have
Yeah, and
next
I-
week.
looking back at some of that part of the other discussion about Rockland Road, they said there was no sign on the upper end for no through
There is a
traffic, and
sign.
there is.
I did see one.
There is one.
It's
couple nights
beyond
ago.
Merrill Road.
Beyond Merrill
Yeah.
Road.
Yeah, it's on
Yep.
the speed limit sign, it is, there is one posted there now, I don't know when it was.
It's been
put
there,
up. Okay,
and there's one on the,
on the far end.
The far end.
The lower end.
and I know the concern wasn't like I said at one of the last meetings, is that I know that
So
when
6:30, Naomi, next week?
the company came in to buy that piece of property, that was part of the stipulation, that they're not to take a right turn to go down the hill, they're gonna take a left turn and come out.
Yeah.
But if there actually is trucking going up and down Rock.
6:45?
No, 6:31 start.
Well, and I don't honestly remember us all agreeing to the 35 clause. All I remember is us verifying that it was no through truck route, that there was a sign the other end.
Yeah, somebody brought up they wanted to have a hearing, but, you know,
But I don't remember us all saying for public hearing. I mean, I mean, my personal thought on it is I think we're jumping to the gun a little bit without having any data behind it.
Well, did planning board do a study,
there was a study on how much traffic.
just a traffic study?
Yeah,
not-
they didn't do
not a
speed traffic,
enforcement?
nothing, no.
I think we're jumping the gun on dropping it down there.
The other thing is, you know, even with the through trucking, and people think that through, you know, through trucking is this, but I mean, if the guy's making a delivery up there, he's coming from that site, going up and making a delivery, that's not
Yeah.
through trucking.
No, but if you're cutting from River to Concord Stage.
Stage, that's through trucking, or from Concord Stage to River Road, that's through trucking.
Correct.
But-
I don't know if that's happening.
No.
Well,
To me, that's an enforcement issue, not.
right, I see a lot of the big trucks coming out loaded, they're probably coming out from Mount William or somewhere, but they're coming out River Road and they're at the
Yeah.
bottom of the hill, that's where I see it.
Well, I mean, and yeah, and most big trucks that are hauling anything would do that anyway, because it's a flat stop into the stop sign, and then when you take a left to come up, either go east to Concord or the other way, I mean,
Because that
you get a better
that
shot of a
road
running
hill comes
stop.
off on you quick, I imagine, in a truck.
Yeah,
Well, the
loaded.
other thing is, we
Yeah,
did
loaded.
say
Fair
we
enough,
would
yeah.
discuss it at a
Yep.
public hearing. We
That's
didn't
right.
say we were gonna agree to it.
Yeah, we
said
will have
would
a public
discuss
hearing on it, discuss it, and goes from
Well,
there.
just in this conversation here, we've never talked about the speed issue. We talked about
No,
the
it was
trucks.
it was brought up, but it was,
Well, the letter from the resident
5 mile
talked
an
about
hour
speed.
Speed, yeah.
reduction.
Right, but again, do we have any data to back up the fact that there's speeding going on? Other than,
No.
I mean, again.
The only thing that was done out there was a traffic study to see,
The traffic
Just,
count
yeah,
goes-
but all the
And traffic
count
count
does is tell
study.
you how many cars.
How many
We
cars.
just told how many, we didn't tell how
Yeah.
fast,
no,
so.
no, it
Yeah.
wasn't done.
And was that
It can
study
be
more
done, but
focused on Concord Stage, or was it focused on all the roads?
it's
I'd
at that
imagine
intersection,
Concord
it's for that intersection,
No, they usually do a Concord Stage.
yeah,
So,
and what was
We
coming
can
out.
have, I mean, we can still have the public hearing.
Yeah, I posted it along with the
Yeah,
other.
what is
no,
it,
that's fine, I'll
I
be.
just-
Southern New Hampshire
I would
Regional
suggest
Planning
go
does
to
some of
the
that.
Chief and see if there's, how many speeding complaints has been on Rockland Road.
Well, I, not only that, but again,
I don't know that.
I'll be honest, I'm not in favor of changing the speed until we have data to prove that we have speeders on there.
No, but I mean, we've
Flat
scheduled a
out.
hearing, and then we
We
can
have the
decide
hearing,
from there.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just.
And I don't totally
Making it
disagree
known.
with you.
And I don't know what 5 miles an hour reduction's gonna even do.
Again, we have no data
Yeah.
on anything, so we don't know if it's going on other than
Yeah.
All we have is a traffic count study that was done by another board.
in a complaint.
Yeah, and that was for the traffic coming out of, what would come out to go out on the
Stage
Concord
barrel, that
stage.
little section
Yeah,
right there.
right there.
Because of the new resident in that corner.
Yeah,
I mean, I know myself as a, you know, part-time steering wheel holder driver, if I had any weight on, I wouldn't want to climb that hill out of River Road.
no way.
And then starting on a hill at Concord Stage,
Stage.
at the end of Rockland, would not be
No.
advantageous to me either,
So
so.
going down that hill with that stop stack.
Would not
close.
be advantageous to me
No.
either, so there's really, to me,
Anybody that's got half,
anything heavy, or the one person that always gets blamed for all the truck traffic down there.
Driving where the salt's gonna go all the way down the river.
Right.
Yeah.
You may have box trucks and fuel trucks that go that way, or UPS and Amazon flying down, but
They're exempt from that.
again,
Yeah.
they're not. Right. So.
yeah, trash pickup, you know, any of that is exempt. But I mean, they get, but I mean, the thing is, any, like I said, any driver that's driving anything like that, that's got half a sense, is gonna avoid those roads like the plague
We
if you
we can
can.
discuss this at the public hearing.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely. The only other thing is at the end of the evening, I've asked, which is on the agenda anyway for a non-public
Yep.
under C.
Yep.
I do have one correspondence, but I'm sure you guys have others.
I do have one that was sent to all of us regarding public hearing, or public comment.
Yes.
Yep, we all got that.
We all got that.
Yep.
So that's all I have at this point.
Nothing else on the administrative.
Just under C, and then before the evening's out.
Yeah.
Okay, correspondence, we have,
I can start.
yep, go ahead.
So you all received correspondence from someone regarding a pool of a homeowner. I did.
Swimming pool.
Pool
Swimming pool.
Nope.
You didn't get that?
No,
came to board members.
When did that get sent?
When did that get sent?
I don't know, I can't remember when I got it.
Regarding a pool?
A
Yeah,
pool.
I'll tell you when you got it in a second, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh, I never saw it.
oh,
came
yeah.
to, it came to board members.
Never got it.
Did it come from you, or did it come from?
No, the resident.
Okay.
Yeah, I never got it.
Anyway, so there's a complaint about a homeowner has no fence around the
Oh,
pool.
I do remember that email. That was
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never got
And
it.
I just want, so there's repairs being done to the pool. I've spoken to the homeowner. The homeowner has three small children. He's not gonna let there not be a fence, but to put a fence up now and try to fix the concrete that's around the pool is kind of a little ludicrous. We reached out to him. He was on vacation last week, and he had someone go up and put some snow fence around the immediate pool so that nobody would fall in. Again, I spoke to him today, and he's working on it. It's just, and when he's done and fills it, he's gonna have a fence around it. I mean, it's just a matter of working on it. So it says the homeowner has no fence around it for a while. I called code enforcement, and they were nice enough to ask for temporary fence, but were ignored by the homeowner. They weren't ignored by the homeowner. He's working on it.
yeah, it came
You know,
in on the
He's been
14th.
working, I've seen him down there.
Never
working.
saw it.
He's
Yeah.
working
I
on
know-
his
I know-
time off.
I know when I send sometimes to board members, mine and John get rejected. I get,
Well,
I
mine
get,
got it,
I get, a-
mine gets
I get a
rejected
rejection
sometimes.
letter.
I didn't get
a rejection
rejected.
notification back to me that,
So it did not come from Naomi, or the one I didn't,
No.
it came direct from the complainant.
Right.
And I'll forward that to you.
but what I'm saying is sometimes, but again, when
Yeah.
if I try and do board members and I don't single him
But-
out, because obviously I'm sending it.
I mean, the thing
then,
is-
then it rejects both of mine and his, and I don't know why.
I mean, the thing is that, yeah, there's a requirement, because we've got the state code for that, and it's in the code that, you know, we enforce fences around pools, but, like you said, the pool's not even open. It's under construction,
Well,
so
what
you don't
it
put
is,
the fence up till
He's
you get done.
refixing the deck around it,
Yeah.
cement
Cement
around
pad.
it.
Cement pad, and
And
but there's no
then
water in it, it's not being
It'll,
used.
right, so I just want, he's not ignoring us. He's doing it when he can do it
Yeah,
on his own time.
and he's
He's got
supposed to
three
be,
small children that he's not gonna allow, obviously,
supposed to be
do
putting
anything.
up a construction fence, one of those orange
Snow
plastic
fence.
ones.
They're
Orange
putting
snow
up
fence.
the orange snow fence right
Orange,
now,
yeah.
just so nobody,
Yep.
It's on at least 3 sides today.
I
just
mean,
noticed it's on.
that's
I'll
some-
send it to you, Ricky.
Okay.
That's something that would have
Yeah.
to come out of
John
the,
never got it either.
You didn't?
No, and like I say, it rejects mine and his sometimes.
Yeah,
when I send
sometimes
board members.
mine-
So it probably rejected and we just didn't know about it.
sometimes I don't get it, was it the one sent a couple weeks ago, I still never got, so. Depends on what the
Yeah, see, I never got that.
email
Never got that.
gremlins do with it, I guess. Yeah, and even so, I mean, yeah, we can deal with that, but that's something that code enforcement would have to do
Enforcement,
anyway.
yeah.
then you had a second, you did all get the, about public comment?
I got
Yeah.
that one.
Yep.
Are we gonna have a discussion regarding that?
No, I guess we'll move on to that now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The gentleman that sent the email makes a valid complaint that, or valid point that was the reasoning we stopped doing the public comment.
Right.
And here we are, we still have the 10-person, I think that's by,
No.
is that over now?
It's no more than, you can't,
We just
you have to
had
keep
that
the social distancing. The other thing is that you can only have half capacity
Okay.
in the room.
But we can still offer, we can still afford the public to come in and comment, as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. I can't see a reason not to. We're really not enforcing the mask on ourselves, so,
We don't have to if you keep social distancing.
correct.
So, yeah, I see what you're saying. But in the interest of, again, of, you know, still at this time, we don't want to have everybody come in for public comment again, you know, and overload the room, A. B, you know, we'd have to start putting them out in the hallway at social distancing. So, I mean, that's one of the issues.
But
I
in
think,
history, we don't have a lot of,
I think,
we have some common people that come up. but
I
we
think,
don't have-
I think to make it, you know, probably a little more, at this point, equal, is to turn around, if somebody has a comment to make, then call Naomi, get put on the agenda, that they're gonna come in for a comment. At that time, we've listed that it's been suspended temporarily during the COVID, so we're still under those rules. And I think at that time, if they have a valid, they want to come in and comment on something, then
They have the right to speak.
come in and get on the agenda. I mean, there's nothing.
It doesn't make a difference, though.
There's
I
nothing, well, at least that way we have an idea of what was getting spoken to about, and we,
But that's not the intent.
well, the
because
intent
of
is, if you look at the statute and you look at the way it's laid up, we don't have to offer public
No, we
comment.
don't, but
So-
past history is allowed
Well,
that.
past history does, but I mean, right now, we're in a different situation, so I think at this point, maybe to go to the agenda, have them come on the agenda.
I disagree.
I don't know, what's everybody else feel?
I would disagree as well. I agree with John on this one.
Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, if they, you know, if we get 10 people come in for public comment, which we normally don't, but if we do,
We've
they'll
had.
have to stay out in the hallway.
I
Come
think-
in one at a time.
Honey?
I agree with you.
I think it boils back to me, it boils back to us policing the room.
Yeah,
If
we'll
we
have to
start to get
police
too
it.
many, then
Okay.
people wait
So I
outside.
mean, if that's what the consensus is, then someone make a motion.
Did we make a motion to restrict it?
No, we did away with it because of the COVID-19
Right.
restrictions.
That's what I'm saying, we,
I don't think we need a motion to reinstate.
Well, at this point, yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
make a
we,
motion, reinstate public comment to its past time slot.
okay.
So, what is it, 7 o'clock?
Gonna-
or,
Or
whatever.
at the
Whenever on the agenda.
In its previous spot on the agenda.
Yeah,
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it. And for discussion as well is again, it comes back to us policing the room, I think, as far as number of attendees, regardless of whatever the topic is. You know, again, we have 4 public hearings held next Monday, and while I think they're valid, the public has to have input on it. I understand that with a public hearing, you're opening the floor, but I think it rolls back to us policing the room, and
Yeah,
again,
we've done that in the past. We did that with the last couple.
we just don't have, like John said, we have our common public commenters, but we don't have usually an abundance of people, so.
Was it seconded?
Yep,
Yeah,
seconded. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Abstain?
No.
No?
You have to say
Aye.
no's and then abstain.
Yes, no. You abstain.
No.
Oh, you vote no.
I vote no.
Okay.
Starting next week.
Two,
I'm
no.
gonna amend my motion starting next meeting.
Gary.
Would be the 3rd of, not the next meeting.
Not the next
The-
one,
the
the
next-
next regular meeting.
the
3rd
next
of
regular
August,
meeting.
3rd of August, okay,
Yep.
so,
So that's my amended.
okay,
And I'll continue.
so be it. So starting the 3rd of August, we'll start with public comment.
Going backwards real quick to what Ricky was just commenting about regarding, we have 4 public hearings next week. Do we want to consider maybe having it at the town hall instead, just so we can have more?
No, we
space?
can space them out here.
No, that's why on the public notice, I added that.
Times. 7:30,
No, I
Seven.
added the fact that due to COVID.
6:45.
No one's not gonna, I said, due to the size of the town office conference room and in keeping with social distancing rule, people wishing to attend this hearing may have to wait in the lobby or the parking lot, but everybody will have the opportunity to speak, so
Yeah.
we're just gonna have to
And
patrol
they're at different
it.
times.
Yeah,
She's
we
got them
just-
scheduled.
Again, it's up to us to patrol it, and there's different times listed for each one.
Yep.
I guess we may have to run outside and say, is anybody here for this one?
6:45, 7, 6:30.
Ditto.
Yeah, so, yeah, everyone's timed differently.
I got a email from somebody too, that they wanted to know about getting into the, like, town hall, or the stone building was gonna be opened, or in the library. I said, we're not opening that stuff up, we're not
No,
gonna.
we-
I said,
we-
we're responsible,
it's
we have
closed.
to clean that stuff. If we have people in there,
Yeah, it's closed.
you got a person that's asymptomatic, we don't know, and I said, we can't do that.
Anything else under other business or correspondence? No? Okay. I guess we'll go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, small c.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes,
Right, Frank?
Yes.
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 And after that,
Adjournment.
we will be adjourning.
Seconded.